Hey everybody, it is Rick. I am here with December reviews part 2. We're already in like the second or third week of January, so I'm about to record some videos today. It is January something, 17th maybe, 16th. It is Sunday. This video will actually be dropped on Tuesday. So yeah, this is all stuff I watched the second week of December. Gotta focus. Time to record, Rick. So what I watched this week's a bit different. I was basically home by myself. I was home a lot. Not gonna get into why I was home a lot, but I was home for the week. So had time to watch some stuff, and basically I was looking for mindless stuff, mindless comedies, something that I could put on and kind of just not have to pay the closest attention to. A lot of these reviews are going to be kind of brief because most of their reviews are all part of one film series, and we'll dive in. And the last movie we're going to talk about in this video, I actually watched the end of December, but you'll see why I want to include it in this video. So a lot of the movies I watched were from this Police Academy, the Complete Collection box set that was actually sent to me by Sav. Sav, thank you again for this. He had sent this to me a while ago. I had said I wanted to revisit a few of these movies. I had never seen most of these movies. The only movies I had seen in this set were the original and the fifth one. So, yeah, we'll just kind of dive in, and I'll talk about stuff in the order I watched it in, although it's not going to be very exciting because there's not a lot of disc art. But the first movie I watched was Police Academy, which is the only R-rated Police Academy movie, starring Steve Guttenberg, Bubba Smith. I'm going to blank on names because I didn't write them all down. David Graff, who plays Tackleberry. Michael Winslow, who does all the voices. Marion Ramsey, who recently had passed away. Leslie Easterbrook. George Gaines, who plays Lassard. Bobcat Goldthwait shows up later. He's not in the first one. But so, part 1 of Police Academy, a movie I had definitely watched before a few times. Like I said, an R-rated movie. There's some gratuitous nudity, but it's a funny movie. It's not, gratuitous just to be gratuitous. It's an R-rated comedy with sex and comedy. Man, it's been so long since I've done reviews. So I give it a 3.5 out of 5. The original Police Academy, in my opinion, is the best out of the 7 films. The next movie I watched, I don't know if this helps any, would be Police Academy 2. I wish they had the cover art somewhere different besides these little pictures. But Police Academy 2, their first assignment. This one was rated PG-13. I'll show you. All the discs, like I said, are very just plain. It is a UK release, but the discs are region free. So, like I said, the second one, their first assignment, is rated PG-13. After this, the rest of the movies are all blurry. PG. So, my first time watching this, I missed that Lieutenant Harris wasn't in the second film. It also introduces Bobcat Goldthwait as Zed in the movie. Wasn't a big fan of Mauser, who basically takes the Harris role. The police. What is he? Harris is a chief. Chief Harris. I think it's Chief. Commandant Lassard. Anyway, he plays like the bad guy in the academy, the police, and he wants to better himself, and he wants the police academy to fail. But like I said, Bobcat Goldthwait's introduced in this movie. He's funny. It was when he was at his peak of his weird, quirky voice, which he doesn't really do anymore. He's now a director, and basically it admitted to that being just like a shtick and an act that he put on, which he did in stand-up and then in film. So I gave that a 3. Police Academy 2, their first assignment. And then I finished out the case by watching Police Academy 3, Back in Training, which was another first-time watch for me. Mauser's back again, and isn't the same as Lieutenant Harris. Thank you very much, Paper, for telling me. So I put in my review that I'm hoping he would return in the 4th movie. You'll have to stay tuned and see. But they keep running jokes going in the early Police Academy movies. There's a prostitute who has interactions with Lassard and Mahoney in the first couple movies. She comes back. And there's also a club, the Blue Oyster Club, that's a gay club. And the same song plays when they enter the club. And usually there's a scene where they're dancing. And it was funny that they kept the running gag going. So I gave Police Academy 3. We'll try to zoom in there. Back in Training, a 2.5. So you can tell 3.5, 3, 2.5. There's a steady decline going on as we talk about the Police Academy movies. But then I took a break from the Police Academy movies and watched Guest House, which was released last year, 2020. And as you can see, I believe stars Pauly Shore. If you can read the top, it also stars Steve-O, Mike Castle, and Amy Teagarden. Basically, it is about a couple who moves into a new house. There's a guest house on property that Pauly Shore lives in. They tell Pauly Shore that I believe he can stay there because he can stay there for like a certain amount of time, but then has to get out. He ends up throwing crazy parties, getting the husband in some trouble because of his party past, and it's not very good. Bobby Lee is in it, Chris Kattan, Eric Griffith is in the movie as well, but yeah, just a not really a good movie. Steve-O plays the lead husband. He plays his boss. It's weird. It's not as bad as some other stuff I've watched this year. Like a Boss, The Swing of Things, but this is a one-time watch. This isn't going to make the shelf for sure. 85-minute runtime, which was one of the reasons why I selected watching it. I give it a 1.5 out of 5. Guest House, not very good. So I would recommend skipping on that. Watching a classic Pauly Shore movie, A Son-in-Law, and Encino Man, in the Army now, one of those. So after that, we get our next Police Academy movie, and I watched both of the movies in this set, so we'll talk about number 4, which is Citizens on Patrol, if I could hold it still. Citizens on Patrol is the 4th film in the Police Academy collection. Once again, another first-time watch for me. But as I watched Police Academy 4, I definitely have remembered seeing it, at least bits and pieces of it, through the years. It was a step up from Part 3 for me. I enjoyed 4 more than 3, and probably just right below number 2. So the movies are perfect. Like, they're all, I want to say they're all like 80, 90-minute movies. I'm trying to see here. 96 minutes, 87 minutes, 84 minutes, 87 minutes, 90 minutes, 84 minutes, 83 minutes. So that perfect hour and 20 to hour and a half comedy. Like I said, I needed a mental escape. Got a mental escape. It was cool seeing Sharon Stone and David Spade in Police Academy 4. They're both obviously pretty young in this movie. I'm trying to see when Police Academy 4 was from. Does it say on here? 87. So yeah, it was before David Spade had done SNL or anything. Sharon Stone, I don't think had been in much at that point. So I give it a 3 out of 5. A fun watch. Next was one I was really excited about, was Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach. Why was I excited about that? Because it is a movie that I watched all the time as a little kid. It came out in 88, so I guarantee you 4 or 5-year-old Rick, well, not 4-year-old, but 5-year-old Rick was watching this movie quite a bit. It used to air on Prism, which was like a premium channel in the Philadelphia area, I believe, back in the day. So it's basically like HBO used to be. Prism aired Sixers games. But I remember Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach all the time. There were parts of that movie where I remembered from childhood. It was very nostalgic for me when they put suntan lotion on Harris's chest and it says Dork and everybody's calling him Dork. I know that's very silly, but still enjoyable. I will say that was also the first Police Academy movie without Steve Guttenberg, if I remember correctly. Yes. So Steve Guttenberg is not in it. Matt McCoy is in it, who plays Lassard's grandson or nephew. One or the other. He's okay in the movie, but it was fun to rewatch it. I still give it a 2. It's not a very good movie, but it's very nostalgic for me, so I enjoyed that aspect of it. So Police Academy 5, a fun watch, but not very good, a 2. And then Police Academy 4, Citizens on Patrol, I gave it 3. I liked that quite a bit. Then we took another break from the Police Academy franchise to watch one of my favorite modern comedies, and this time checking it out in 4K, which isn't really necessary, and that is Step Brothers. Obviously, Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly. Love this movie. So much fun. There's a ton of bonus features on this disc. I didn't realize it. The 4K is one disc, and then there's a Blu-ray. There's the movie, which features the theatrical and extended on Blu-ray, and then there's a disc just full of bonus features. There's so much bonus stuff on this release, which is awesome. I got this from Hamilton Book in 2020 for I want to say $7 or $8.95. So yeah, like I said, one of my favorite modern R-rated comedies. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell are hilarious together in this movie. It's incredibly quotable. I could quote this movie all day long. Also, there's supporting performances from Kathryn Hahn, Adam Scott, Rob Riggle, Mary Steenburgen, and Richard Jenkins play their parents. All very good. Like I said, quotable. I laugh out loud still to this day at multiple parts of this movie. Step Brothers is a 4.5 out of 5 for me. Cannot recommend the movie enough. If you have not seen Step Brothers, you want a good laugh, you need an R-rated comedy, do yourselves a favor, check it out. I recommend it highly. And then the last thing I technically watched in the second week of December, but not the last movie we're going to talk about, is Police Academy 6, which is City Under Siege. I'm going to zoom in on the poster there. So that movie was made in 89. So the Police Academy movies, I think, were released yearly, if I remember correctly. We'll go back a second. 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89. So yes, the first 6 movies were all released a year after each other. We'll talk about 7 in a minute. So, City Under Siege, full disclosure, I fell asleep during 75% of my viewing that I had. So I put it back on later, and I actually fell asleep again, which is a good. I was watching it during the day. It was hard for me to get through. It was very unfunny. I managed, the third time was the charm. I finished what I slept through, and just a huge drop off for me. I give it a 1 out of 5. Was not a fan of Police Academy 6. I'll open this to show you guys. City Under Siege was a big stinker for me, like I said. Tough for me to get through. It was a 1. And then the end of December, I watched Mission to Moscow, Police Academy 7, even though it was just called Police Academy Mission to Moscow. Came out 5 years after 6 in 1994. Hardly any of the cast came back, if I remember correctly. Bubba Smith left the movies. You had Michael Winslow, David Graff, and Leslie Easterbrook were all back. Harris and Lassard were in the movie as well, but it just felt like a shell of its previous films. Claire Forlani was in the movie. Ron Perlman plays a Russian mob boss who is awful in this. Christopher Lee plays Moscow's chief of police. So it was 82 minutes long. So hard to get through. I mean, I struggled getting through it. It was very over-the-top slapstick. I mean, a lot of the other ones are too, but this was like way over the top for me. Like I said, it had a young Ron Perlman as a Russian mobster who had a horrible accent, which was laughable. Like I said, a handful of characters that were in the original movies. But the movie was just unfunny. It was tough to get through. I've seen them all. If it were up to me, I would honestly just keep these 2 parts of the set and totally get rid of this, because I will never watch 6 and 7 again. If I ever rewatch the Police Academy movies, I will watch 1 to 5 and ignore 6 and 7. But thank you once again to Sav for a while ago sending this to me, knowing it was on my wish list, knowing these are region free, so I'm able to watch them in the US, even though it's only a UK release. I would love for them to put out a slimmer cased version, because this takes up, I think, like 4 shelf spaces. But it's awesome to have all the Police Academy movies on Blu-ray. And yeah, like I said, Mission to Moscow, a 0.5 star. The first one was let's see if I can figure out the ranking here. The first one was my favorite, hands down. Then number 2. Then number 4. Then 3. Then 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, 7 is how I would rate the Police Academy films. I enjoyed them. And that is it, guys. So thank you, as always, for watching. I mentioned this in a previous video, but just in case you did not watch said video, the P.O. Box is no longer in the description of my videos. Working on getting a new P.O. Box, probably the beginning of February. So keep checking the description if you plan on sending me something. The new P.O. Box will hopefully be there in due time. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you guys don't do so already. Hit the bell notification if you guys want to know when new videos are coming to the channel. Also, check out the description box down below where you can find links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd. Speaking of Letterboxd, I changed my username on Letterboxd. It is now Down to Movie. So, nice and easy to find me on Letterboxd. You can search Down to Movie or click the link below. Links to my Blu-ray.com profile, my Amazon wishlist, email address can all be found down below. So thank you guys for watching. As always, until next time, who's down to movie?